It's time to tie up your hair, pet your familiar, and get ready to cook because today we are making Auntie Ethel's Treacle Tart. I did debate whether or not we are going to do a short dough or a pie dough for this, considering that Auntie Ethel has the lattice on the top, but considering that tarts traditionally don't have the lattice and are made of a short dough, we are going to do a short dough crust. For the tart dough, we are going to whisk together 1 tablespoon of sugar, a half teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of flour together. We're going to chop up 6 tablespoons of chilled butter. Here we're going to rub the butter between our fingers until we have little pea-sized pieces throughout the flour mixture. Then we're going to whisk in 1 egg and try to mush that together with a fork. If you have only medium eggs because your chickens are only laying medium eggs like mine, you can go ahead and add a few tablespoons of water in at a time, and that should be able to get your dough nice and hydrated. Then we're going to wrap that up in plastic wrap and put that in the fridge for a few hours until it hardens up. After a few hours, you can go ahead and lay that out. We're going to try to get it as thin as possible, and we're going to go ahead and lay it on top of our tart pan like this. Do this part as gently as possible, but you're going to lay that over, and then you're going to very carefully coax it into that tart pan. Then you can take your rolling pin over top and just smush it like this, and that should get you some nice sharp corners. Then you're going to put a piece of parchment or wax paper over top, add in those pie weights, and that should help it from shrinking. I baked it for 10 minutes, I removed the pie weights from it, and then continued to bake it for another 10 minutes until it was a very pale golden like this. Then I set that aside so I could take care of the filling. For the filling, we're going to be using 1 1/4 cups of Lyle's Golden Syrup, the zest and juice of 1 lemon. To start, we're going to place that syrup, lemon juice, and zest in a saucepan. We're going to heat it up until it's runny like this. Then we're going to stir in those breadcrumbs. We're going to let that mixture sit for a while, and then we're going to beat the egg and the cream together. Although the recipe did not say to temper this mixture, we are going to make sure that we're putting that in very, very slowly so we don't scramble those eggs. Go ahead and pour that mixture into that tart crust and put it in the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. Make sure that you will always put a tart pan or a pie crust on top of another sheet tray while you're baking it so that any runoff is going to be caught and won't get in the bottom of your oven. Afterwards, it should be nicely browned and it should be pretty solid. Now, if I really wanted to be true to Auntie Ethel's recipe, I would have let this molded over, but I personally just don't like the flavor of mold, so I did not do that. Overall, I would say this has a very lemony flavor to it, and it does taste very fluffy. Since this is familiar friendly, we're going to go ahead and give him a bite, and thank you so much for watching.
One more bite and this pie is gonna come back up to say hello.